Management is competitive is established analysis may exemptions in section 101 designate numerous categories of patent and eligible to be patented, discouraging investment and innovation efforts for the use and time of competition over the patent section 101 spells out. Innovators eligible for patent considered court decisions granted will be an eligible one. Ideas of patent actually uncertain capital kryptonite investment innovation and investment of patents not for AI and life science about 70,000 applicants to protect patent eligibility channel to protect the use of the tech race because of numerous court decisions if the use is be channel we must actually react to patent our problem better to the words that drive our advantage. They lose the tech race of China one investment in emerging tech companies offshore to receive patent protection from Microsoft 24 may ask courts always have valid patents eligibility for investment marketing high tech investment costing billions of every which is working to lose out investor distribution of numbers into the ability those who will receive legal protection those investment and uncertainty this is commercial unpredictability created by decisions applying mail alice 2 standard setting licensing regimes increase innovation and reinforce soft power by encouraging integration into global systems gloss 123 technological asset indications determined to global power relationship and merchant capital facility investment opportunity dominance national strategy revenues from licensing royalty constitutes second second competition invention research and detection tax industry dependencies and new equipment development and integral part of the areas of policy integration technical service seeking virtualization reinforcing software emerging capable of taking the balance of power will determine the was another what will fail by the US legal underground ability committee to the board and underground suggest Minister President US Ecuador Argentina the Chinese sector patent and deliver Iowa tech down is key to US leadership which staves off nuclear war chronic 21 Russian tech turns out the US war are quantum cyber radical trades will use the technology defense of the multiple revisions by Russian tech the US are after military advantage to attack Moscow Beijing and political with energy stable with Moscow should balance power so revision the same as the made and operate territory trying to make one or so the US is leadership second hands and providing silver in these probably to work for balance of power results international conflict future goes to with these uncertain data resolving conflict the Iraqi Moscow and vision believe new check the military advantage of the US Moscow breaking into attack US our really nuclear arsenal is double for the US factor and the risk of nuclear come from escalating potential conflict there's no way to force deliver their risk of escalation US China turn this projected quadruple its nuclear arsenal not perceived advantage whereas look at the world new way of increase risk of nuclear escalation Russian time and the taking away to order revision safety market increase investment in merchant tech maintain and as a consequence would be shift and conflict requires an increase risk of nuclear war starting in Taiwan and Ukraine Russia and China will coordinate launch a coordinated challenge based on US weakness extinction Ignatius 24 West phase of knockouts of Russia and to impose an automatic will both police features the US heads are working tandem with Iran and look at the axis is not about the American about the hesitate to believe the echelon correctly however there is a scope and American troop not runs of the discovery waiting by time to balance the challenge of that the other is outside of the offensively to gain control of the US of nuclear weapons on the rich not to turn risk attempt to put debate or price with believe that there will never be more opportunity moment Chinese invasion influence exports digital authoritarianism broad likely from either sole driver authoritarianism and digital and additional social information for factors to production cancer digital revolution microphone neighbor because with separate boundaries technology basing expanding system without everything this revolution doesn't make your never question of the fact that also profit with the smart city tech enable control group to use to fight the crime diagnosis to make the trend China's companies broadly outside of the system this is everything to bring the Beijing export digital authoritarianism further of the alternative in the country factor and respond to authoritarian states creating a long risk of existential risk the group that knows how to the future tech risk roughly 23 totalitarian risk extinction back in dealing with disaster more than individual or must help be problem due to personalization and disincentive for accurate info makes extinction lucky by raising the chance of building based on totalitarian less common transparency limits grievance bad for people with logic quality offense erratic ways of being concerned about logging future technical ATS space at or surveillance emerging power source out there and building risk of control short-term image trajectory which running destruction of potential advantage to use innovation of M101 eligibility restrictions rejection of subject matter grounds create a broad preemptive against entire industries that solves innovation and directs industry to trade secrets of Federal 24 one of which is anti-political to solve innovation without uncertainty that downstream product will be patentable there's little incentive to invest in building Moscow one of company getting destruction invest in uncertainty instead of extra secrets such as sharing info one of which is illusion that the effects patents are granted increasingly challenging to diplomatic 124 and 101 beats was also only 7% bonds which are concept of matter such as cyclical invention all not kind of not only will be such a match than used to think there's a broader term back rates and never close about figure with from patent protection those exceptions were in status quo patent innovation one to credit small business spring off 24 small company bar patent brands and not of the research of nice new trend of being protected commercial life and small companies that patent to attract investment life and maybe new software digital and accept the fact of all business main investment wide job innovation carbon to drop the field to use 24 regarding the network of innovation research the nation political and aircraft manufacturers body and data creators of the tickets not to print and insurance entrepreneurs patents provide investor uncertainty for commercialization afterward allowing small businesses to encourage the initial cost to get off the ground over 21 patents for opportunities necessary to investment causing initial commercialization of basic advantage if you get the right to excluding patents do not avail initial cost and burdens that are incurred costs to facilitate commercialization to uncertainty patent eligibility scares investors in the BC boss of 24 uncertainties into that for reducing that that's a lot of research about new tech can be producing on the right innovation and we start virtual service secretary for president increase companies and hard performance of patent and such secretary contract the patent tickets of current and it keeps potentially their loss in innovation tech and pharma the BC is key to keeping started financially flow patents are uniquely key marinara 24 there's large effort in that effort to copyright revenue that may use this a lot of foods for financing patent for also lifestyle building the emphasis future supervision that advise that giving and first about that switch to on the for democracy about half of estimates engagement patent for contrary reasons. Third, the shifts to trade secret protection weakens fallen on innovation. Break off 24 while use companies that they may produce and trend secrets go off of innovations patent. Because discovered to not commit them but only one and seven to the biggest group in the subsequent videos literally reasons that you trade secret program that words part is involved. That's key to involving multiple actors in innovations. While we're 21 firms that market will improve on investment process more effectively to develop innovation firms that quickly realize country scale. Effective patent protection contains excellent risk. Rando 16 greater unity common communication with greater technology security to see trade excellent less great I lost it on the document and the corporate left design with it and to see the robber on the listen to check the age of rate there's a conversion of products to the different factors and I think there's a lot of not other certain finding trade secrets about protection reducing microbial innovation necessary for environmental remediation including paths pollution bring off 24 isolated natural positive metric use no obviously we're protecting what having to disclose the whole world not protecting the one concept of to maintain the trade secret yourself disclosure secure to like factories commercial and industrial controversial plastic regulating factories for remediation prior to bring up was included so we're get causes extinction green 21% of the power of the government to make one plastic medium that was to the microbial innovation and latest chemical fusion of microorganisms that consume pollutants and bio 24 microorganisms preventing the degradation of release of works well as essential bio-augmentation successful molecular focus on molecular document impacts agriculture ecosystem collapse at risk extinction native 20 no one the other chemical spread between and flux catastrophic loss ecosystem surface honesty puts around the work system by national what economic defense supported 64% of agri lead was ever single tools something sustainability foods by actions with limiting sustainable substantial loss biodiversity loss of insects and emerging from the supporting the hour release of chemicals committed to time here just from taking your absorption of total releases for rabbits into catastrophic risk human future removing exemptions removes the peer effect by excluding patents under smaller doctrines that foster innovation or federal 24 that one would overuse is significant for the inward addition to random level one base of their larger derivative effect and for rejection based on that doctrine is invalidated patent with the novelty not use for further description enabled doctrine means the specific claim is not patentable for rejection on the patent on subject matter means investment for the general patent not eligible as harm of innovation to exclusionary workable should draft on patentability because the small cap effect of rejection according to these doctrines compared to subject matter rejecting for rejection rates remain the same for industry within the for equivalent to patent system while the same patent measure needs to be rejected therefore the United States federal government should significantly strengthen the protection of domestic intellectual property rights by reducing judicial exceptions on patent subject matter eligibility, solvency, patents drive innovation through exclusive.
Skip that card, go to the next one.
Wait, I already skipped.
Okay.
Patents drive innovation through exclusive incentives that are key to gaining an edge and strategic protect for the tech race mariner. 24 strong keepers innovative for the edit with confidence over their IP will be protected patent insurers. Disclosure from knowledge by building patent disclosure. The patents are for the process of part of the tech patent rights are redesigned for frontier weakness. Investment in tech is get the certain trade secret enforcement to be traced to limitation on patent building laws range or natural phenomenon or actually outside of adopting trade secret taking fees of innovation to advisor be trying to provide the access to all enhancing competition and effectively numerous analysts and emphasis on proposals can reduce the checking side for political attention drawn attached to the course of teaching industries better than analysis proves the correlation between innovation turning around here and webs 24 meta loss of lead as to effective rapid innovation and after proving guys we can't effective rapid positive on innovation.
Alright. Good. Can you distinguish the internal links on Advantage 1 and Advantage 2?
The internal links on Advantage 1 are about, I guess, tech broadly. Our Kronig evidence talks about how the U.S. needs to take the lead on military tech specifically.
Wait, it's about tech broadly or military tech?
Or probably military tech.
Okay, Advantage 1, military tech, but it's still about innovation leading to developing that military tech, right?
Yeah.
Advantage 2 is about innovation in biotech and other areas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask about some of the impacts in Advantage 2. Effective patent protection contains X risks. Why is the AFS protection key to this?
Because absent we've made claims about how absent the plan, sort of ambiguity on whether companies are going to be able to receive patents or not deters them from investing in the technology necessary.
Okay, I understand like the internal link to investment tech, but the Rando card is just about like having an IPR regime. So
Yeah,
like,
and the Alice Mayo exemptions have made the current regime ineffective and
Right,
outdated
okay.
for innovation.
Come
And the
here,
card
come here.
explains
Rando's
that
not
that's-
about Alice Mayo at all, right? Never mentions him once.
Yeah,
Never
but
mentions
obviously
Para.
it assumes that the patent regime is effective.
It assumes it's effective in the SQUO?
We've read
No.
other cards which substantiate the claim that Alice Mayo exemptions have made the entire regime ineffective.
Okay, the Spermageddon, it caused extinction impact. What internal link do you think you've read to this?
It talks about how the green evidence talks about how chemicals are disrupting people's endocrine systems, which decreases their ability to produce sperm. We've read an internal link to that through the previous
And
one.
that gets to extinction how?
Because if people don't have sperm, they can't reproduce.
Okay, let's go back to Advantage 1. I want to ask about like the standard setting. You say like licensing regimes increase soft power. how is that the case?
The Glosserman evidence is about how licensing regimes are able to facilitate research and development and increase investment from companies broadly.
So there's not a soft power, like there's not a soft power.
No, the card explains that patents right now, because of the current regime, aren't getting integrated into global systems, but the BIRI makes China the first provider of technology into those systems.
Okay.
And
How
so
does the app get integrated into global systems?
How does that get
Innovation,
integrated?
yeah.
Through innovation and leadership on technology.
Right. But why is the app key to that innovation? I guess. Why is like overturning Alice Mayo and like these other cases key to global innovation?
Because it allows the U.S. to lead other countries on innovation. It's a question of whether the U.S. leads other countries or adversaries like China.
Who does the plan?
The United States federal government.
Normal means.
Congress.
Cool.
Once in the Senate, it's okay. There's you go now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Extinction impacts just in interpersonal conflict, vote negative, reject the plans that even attempt to permanently contain accidental risk. Oliver 23. You took calculations to reduce human life, they never objected. Survival are valid relative to goals identified risk and also discount address a singular future living being. There's always remain that cannot be calculated. It's not just a matter of gathering relevant data elements affect our calculation that we can. But this is nothing compared that rather than apathy keeps us in search for justice. Next off. The United States Party should abolish its protection of domestic intellectual property rights and patents. Abolish means zero protection. 33. Abolish enforcing absolute destruction means to utterly shut to do away with wholly particular to institutions. Next off. The United States Federal Judiciary should remove judicial exception to patents subject not eligibility, declaring the court will never alter Section 101 in future decision. Rule protection of trade secrets unconstitutional and repudiate past precedent of Alice Mayo exceptions. Court solve only clearly can correct dubious eligibility. President Ellis 24. Supreme Court decision extended will be ineligible with among ideas of math and nature. The court provide no further guidance in criminal selectivity and the decision for foreign guns sees the judiciary operate the U.S. is saying that the tigers because of the U.S. court decision does have to be that way. Just for the federal court exposure of the chaos like so. Patents are renewable, accidental, and turns the case McGillivray 17. Patents accumulate capital IP branches by the invisible hand are instruments of class power over the patents can be accidental weapons to body inequality and democracy and accidental charge comes democracy or wealth. Constantly we can have both corporation converted tax or crimes into tax payments. Vote net to end property under 19. Recent articulation should alert us to that neighborhood movement is the most important to consider the whole property. A critique of IPR on essential rights, especially as you its own rights to work the only two challenges that real fight is challenge the ideology. The challenge will provide grounding for the movement to combat the white person perceived themselves that great inequality and disease like so. Enemies throughout words that phrase the word in should mean throughout violation of the entire area of patents prefer all minute tweaks to each topic expose the topic to tiny outside don't even change the status quo ending in the ground like so. The Farm Bill will pass now. Governor 520 Act communities approval of bipartisan is optimistic that Congress can work in bipartisan way to address the shortcomings. The plan Gus Biden species birth 13. There's highly contingent question regarding a panel subject matter. Congress may sign legislature is allowing judicial interpretive process to play out. PC is key. Douglas Smith for IRA for Climate Foreign practices lower emission through sustainable farming action. We want to reallocate the White House pleasure to preserve money. The bipartisan process of negotiating farm bill involves comprehensive pass to solve food security and climate that solves extinction solved on 19. Climate change poses a threat global food security with accident. August spring and U.S. claim leadership from the Climate Act. Climate threat and food scenario struggling. Farming people have struggled with the rising climate change linked to passage disease, sea level rise and decline of nutritional plants. Crop and change from temperature increase and rainfall. Ag systems are vulnerable to any additional warning. The biodiversity loss of fuel climate ag is recognized by to GHG. Methane have 3 times the effect of CO2. Ag is largely to non-CO2 GHG DOD and the cycling as multiply the research leaks climate to global instability more. Violent climate in 3 decades. Next off, the United States Fargo should establish an innovation process for successful innovation ineligible for patents on judicial extraction grounds to counter solves better through criminalization and follow on innovation type of patents offset benefits price after all offer all benefits of patents. Patents restrict ideas to maximize their sort of impact. Ideas should be spread. Patents harm innovation by touching licensing fee to improve partisan and centralized innovation. Independent invented upfront or equal to the value of monopoly process have exactly the same effect on innovation as a patent without monopoly. The ideas for openly commercial and built upon next off. Current eligibility limits spur affected pandemic response to monster 24. Eligibility law protect from future pandemics. These technical requires substance requires action to gene sequences. Makes the ability to freely match genes associated with viruses as MR. Program is already helping us mitigate future health crisis. The plan slows response and ends global cooperation in pandemics. Contains 22. Mirroring eliminology patents in the U.S. Availability of patents in research to study genomic with the fear of infringement and to develop vaccine diagnostic and therapeutics to actually place non-human genomic sequences back into subject matter. Return us to preemptive pattern of emerging viruses. Speed and global cooperation are critical. Pandemics cause extinction. That's when we see. But next up, the
Wait. There's no like count like this.
Okay. I'll get it for you.
Okay. Go to Advantage 1. Advantage 2, sorry.
Innovations up June 24. The benefits of also not limited to predictability. Improved size include as resulting in increased R&D, sales by software refers to a higher likelihood of VC funding for stars. Current patent eligibility increases tech innovation. Chemical pollution won't cost extreme because it's regional, not global. Bursting 24. Planetary runs is a product of methodological decision by scientists. It is infused with problematic assumption. Now, patent solve risk is a non-argument. Zero reason the app is key, which means the status quo solves. There's no end kind disruption. It won't cost extinction and assisted reproduction solves rules in 21. We have technology to reproduce assisted reproduction that allows you to have healthy children. Now, patents discourage innovation. Limit 16 patents discourage innovation if they have royalty. We have no email, no software, no good, important innovation. Before patent companies cross lines to block interest that struggle market cost choice. Strategic patents use legal threats to extract 12% of spending new tax innovation. Once they do patent, 10% of innovation have the patent or cardinal found fewer than have. It's over 5% more for products used first. But the plan costs that will lost cyber competition and jackson price that crushes innovation. Now, rank 24. Patent exclude others protection beyond that. Talking about abuse of power. Everybody except by making an efficient even after patent has expired. Prevents entry and sharks and blocks innovation. For delay companies keep on market price high delays and chasing for health. Fear of retaliation costs patents to remain unchallenged in spite of patents. The comment has seen neither progress nor R&D restricting economic growth. Patent clusters substantial share remain unused and block other choices by patents to threaten infringers. Linkages limit innovation duplication and common tendency. Nature research only one granted the patent monopolies ensured layers substitute pandemics that sends shockwaves throughout the economy. Roy 20 beneficial patents are found. They lobby against the waiver of other sector of economy. Aviation drones and risk of loss if there's delay in some vaccines becoming contracted with sharpness and great depression, slow vaccines require restricted causes and sharks. This one too slow. This applies slow down except for if vaccine does not catch up. Decline costs a great power award.
I can't find it.
It's Jung 22. Sorry, source have trouble. Economies make stacy cluster. Increase probability of founding a battle leaders. Ever attention from those who create rally on the flag. Battle coming out drawing. And the driver for incentivized conflict are target arrival. Reverse support this little need to justify action. Leaders may target rising party Ukraine states and attribute action against in Japan and Toronto economic terrain. Outlook is uncertain. We should be concerned short cause lead to use of first strike. Aggressive patent skills cybersecurity do 120. Computer system of vulnerabilities to fragmentation, defense, and pass searches that weakest competition, multiple sites show competition, encourage first improve cybersecurity, and monitoring, increase vulnerability to the research cyber. So we need both provide security inclusion to share information, security increase, ask criminals increase monopoly, aside from war, fed accept responsibility, asking winner, opening system, infrastructure, one question, especially doesn't mean block on region, opening center flaws, and central ground, this one represents loss of technology, essential to cybersecurity, cyber attacks with nuclear clarity, and cyber attacks, they were just by using nuclear weapons, and highly vulnerable, great power, seeking vulnerability, actually disability, the risk of nuclear escalation, such as cyber attacks, they provoke great concern in the block where the risk of launch of weapons and immediate uncertainty could represent a nuclear deterrent. It may misinterpret convenience signals launches nuclear weapons. AI.
You skip that.
Okay. Go back to counterplay.
The United States Federal should reduce judiciary exemption to an intellectual property subject matter eligibility via sui generis intellectual property regime. It also in permissive CUA 24. There are categories that cannot be protected by the same IP. There's a case when the for sui generis the need to balance public access to vision and private interest, allowing rights to make it difficult for IP user to determine scope. Adoption overlap a condition to ownership for personal IP artists sui generis create rights and prior and create a term of protection.
Advantage 1.
China is throwing U.S. emerging tech leadership. Lewis 24. No tech is a good indicator of how the U.S. economy is fast as being invaded for decades. Reach protection. China would say the U.S. use protection or Chinese and 37 for protection. Why the U.S. is not for development of AI content by China did not develop a set of vaccine glass and quantum. The tech leadership doesn't determine military power. Lewis 24. Other factors determine success of political will. Leadership and strategy advancing these years towards a technology advance opponent. No Taiwan vision. She has been pushing for decades without action. Trump and January 6 thumbed the impact. Democracy resilient legacy and weight 23. Democracy has been resilient as democracy is backed up with the vast majority in the of a global threat which you have yet to be burned out. The last quarter century remains by far the most democratic in history.
I'd like to start on the prizes counter plan. How do you know who should receive a prize and how much?
Well, there are obviously current standards that U.S. federal government uses to decide who gets a patent. Those would probably be around the same.
Also, more likely, the government and the U.S. military would set an innovation that they want to procure, and that would be the locus for what company receives the prize, because whoever gets there first gets it.
The McGillivray evidence says that patents are an existential weapon. What does that mean and why?
Yeah, it says that the way that IP has accumulated, it causes elites to store for weapons like nuclear weapons, etc. We think that the continued expansion of IP is a way for those elites to maintain power, and it inevitably cause war.
That seems non-unique, but for
Well,
whatever.
like,
The
it's
success of the off.
We have an alt.
Conditional.
Okay. How the Farm Bill? How does it solve food security and climate change?
Yeah.
It does things like crop rotation, regenerative ag, and more sustainable agriculture practices that would allow it to be resilient to climate shocks.
Wait, which evidence says this?
So,
SOVA?
correct.
This isn't about the Farm Bill, but
I think it is.
I don't think it is, but that's fine. On the turn-on case, what's the internal link to economic decline?
The Narayan 24 evidence.
Okay, where does it say that, like, it causes economic decline?
Well, the card is pretty good. It says that, it would be bad for, well, we've made an interlink to innovation, which you've said is also the key to, tech leadership, which we have said, well, we will say is back to the economy.
Wait, are you asking the internal link to
To the
the
Jung
Jung?
evidence.
I mean, it's like Roy, which is about like delayed response to pandemics, sending shockwaves throughout the economy, because we can't innovate vaccines fast enough when patents,
Okay, that's
Gatekeep
fine. Are there any other reasons to reject the team besides T?
No.
No, okay. The court's counterplan, why does it compete?
You say Congress, I won't say
We'll
process.
read
Okay,
definitions,
we'll read
obviously.
That's fine. This Burke evidence, going back to the politics dissad, where is this about, like, Biden's PC, or how does the plan detract from Biden's ability to push it?
The Douglas 24 evidence makes it claim that Biden's PC is key. It says, makes claims about how White House officials, i.e. Biden, is currently pushing for efforts to pass the bill.
Okay, but why does the plan trade off with that ability?
Because it takes time to talk about the, like, different...
PC is a finite resource, and Biden has limited political favors with the people in Congress, particularly with the big tech lobbyists that are like pressuring like certain members of Congress that would have to acquiesce in order to sign on to the plan. He would lose political capital with them, which are
Okay.
necessary to sign
The
the plan.
sui generis counterplan, IP exists anyway. Why doesn't that thump the internal?
It's not about IP, it's about patents.
Okay, that's fine.
Right. Yep. Winning the tech race is the military advantage to China, bullying them to invade Taiwan, ECS, and the SES that draws in the U.S. extinction that's chronic 1C1. China is a technological threat. It's a question of which military technology it has, which Lewis concedes. The 1 and C2, they said tech leadership doesn't determine power. The factors the card talks about are determined by the tech race policy, the political landscape. They say Taiwan is G-posturing, but China is revisionist. It's proven by internal documents, Chinese commentaries, and think tanks point towards using tech to shift to a Chinese world order. That's our classified evidence. They say Trump and January 6th not power scenarios about creation of new totalitarians, which January 6th did not say do, and they say democracy is resilient. Their evidence does not assume technology with autocrats, which makes them even more powerful. Advantage 2. They say innovation is high, but Jones is biased. He's ahead of the tech lobby, which is the crony of all Silicon Valley companies. The chemical pollution scenario, we're not going for it. The FSK patents prevent a slew of excess requests equal war prolific disease through adaptive innovation. That's rando. Is key to effective. We have read evidence, an internal link. It's the Revetto evidence says that the app is key to an effective patent regime broadly. Sperm getting ticket. The plan solves innovation. One small businesses, judicial exceptions crowd them out. They're key to the disruptive innovation, high tech industries that's broken up, and deep and penetrable way for small business to incur additional costs for investment down the line. That's number 2. Venture capital judicial exceptions create uncertainty that discourage long-term investment in technology. That's also in arrow 3. The trade secrets on certain patents directs innovators towards them, which prevents follow-on innovation. That's broken off and silver. The best meta-analysis prove a correlation. That's one I see no way. The patent thicks argument, patent thicks are empirically disproved. That's our one I see Mossoff inserted for reference empirics disprove hold up tickets and royalty stacking. Yellow Topic 17. There's no F of hold up tickets and royalty stacking. All studies reach the same conclusion, but the empirical support is lacking despite 15 years. The mass evidence not shown. Hold up stacking is a common problem in the practice. Evergreening is debunked. License 20. Except by legally impossible, vendor for as far as 20 years, competitor does not do an exact copy. Law permits to online research but promotes production to be little difference in application site specific product, not ingredient list amounts, late expiring patents, and no, cyber turn. The patents create a competition to increase innovation over cyber school 21. When the market's competitive pressures to increase and innovate on the supply side, the competitive pressures increase incentives and decrease royalties on the main side. Competition drives no topics to purchase or license discoveries and invest in the absence of marketing innovation inventions. Measures meant to reduce incentives to invent and to innovate, and competing patents solve from Siberia's licensing options.
licensing options to pay for them. B, not a guarantee the U.S. military will rely upon faulty tech to take out their NC3 scenario. C, thumpers, proficiency, physical intrusions, backdoors, all already create vulnerability. And the D, attribution, there's no way to know who did it. Rich, can you give me slow growth defense? Subsets. 1, the function of the plan affects all of the patent regime. 2, plain text means in a vacuum. 3, in means subsets KC9. In within the boundary area of prefer AF ground, their topic limits it to 3 AFs copyright the 3 subsets. 4, functional limits, PICS, politics, DSK, CCON, DSA, counterplays. In other words, checks 5, reasonability, prevents subsets right off the property. 1, for where the applicants and links to the fiat implications are tradition which the applicant receives to office first with only impact and poor cultural limits educational benefits that are performative. Contradictions with the DAs justify suffering are arrests to permanent build souls and shields. 3, extinction outweighs millions dying is irreversible, which precludes any alternative within the life, including the K4 link IP expansion is inevitable. 5, private active fiat is a voting issue, making everyone change their mind justifies private actor world peace counterplan anti off ground and fairness 6 can solve. A doesn't do the FB, all causes transition wars been 20. Dismantle the entire economic system with touch of armed conflict in Asia, political upheaval and socialist literally abandon their limited of fossil fuel use to support military efforts force led to profound environmental degradation. The comment does not have several decades to spare. Claim it. Crossfly, everything from the other K2. This is the util bad card. There's no alternative to util, and util is good. 1, probability times its magnitude values all lives equally. 2, extinction is really, really bad and kills the potential for future life as well. 3, perm to build the most patents. 1, perm do both. 2, perm do the counterplan. 3, perm to the plan and counterplan. In all other instances, counterplans must be textually and functionally competitive to at ground and objectivity. 4, you can't solve. It abolishes all patents. The court's count. 1, perm do both. 2, the counterplan fails. A, certainty appeals in USPTO. Implementation takes years, which destroy the certainty. Curriculum for 24. Confusion and inconsistency in our courts are applying exceptions to justice willing to extrapolate prior decision practitioners will face uncertainty surrounding whether when the issue will be appealed, whether it will be held, and Scarlet Premier will take it off their skin except for years. Fear eliminating judicial exceptions, reduce uncertainty regarding inventions that simulate investment. And B, lack of capacity means even attempts to create clear rules creates enormous uncertainty. Number 19, the courts have difficulty crafting rules reliably. Any lack of fairly imposed standards rather than the rules risk litigation. Mark at litigation. And 3, permanent counterplan. 4, ancient counterplans are voter seals kiss and is unpredictable. 5, links that benefit. The Republicans still portray the app as from Democrats. 6, counters the voter and disposals. 1, church maximize end of class and education. 2, fairness can't be best ideas ever. Imagine prizes. 1, permanent below. 2, permanent counterplan. 3, fails. So over 15, cultural pillars of vision, knowledge about science and texture. The best pillars must be informed. Challenges must be nature balance differences. The performance are pronounced and innovative industry. Central planners suffer from corruption, bureaucratic inefficiency. Practices will encourage rank seeking, diverting away from innovation, political influence, industry, pursuit, objective, other inefficiency, market determines prices, likes the best. Priorities and systems impede innovation. There's no incentive to develop technology because it has to be forfeited to the public domain. Sui generis. 1, perm do both. 2, permanent counterplan. 3, counterplan vagueness justifies new one and deficits. Otherwise, it's impossible to predict the counterplan. That isn't clear until the law. 5, links to 4, sui generis is bad. And Pierce 20. A pure predictor of novelty examination system as major of patent secretary rights for innovation failed to public voluntary and original. The usually bar entry of computing projects. It is accepted that all lectures following creators of public domain works which fall short of standards. Larger players may use models as means of circumventing stringent criteria and breaches the system, make it harder for SMEs. A lack of examination, wrestling certainty to ascertain what rights exist in a particular tech. Pharma. Won't pass Extra 612. Pharma looks to be a person exercise proposals have political objective differences being unlikely that either side will compromise before the elections that will split. IRA, Republicans will remove money on climate, neither seem likely to take any chances. Species vague. Interrogator 21, press power is limited. Party and public support are more important. Skills are only for members. Open to change today. Very few are based on polarization is unlikely changes voting. There is the integration between party schools are not useful to attract a single vote. If winners win, K21 demonstrates spreading two things by focusing on domestic issues about momentum and PCs like muscle. The more you exercise, the more if you have it. It's not like finding resources if we do. We've got more clout and to even more. They'll wait until after the election to vote on the bill if I try too risky now, or they'll extend the bill. No means that Senators Coons and Tillis use their PC to get the bill through Congress, and the plan is the bottom of the the plan could be the bottom of the dot. If the bill fails, but the plan solves. Smith. 13 climate smart guardrails will not improve climate mitigation. The U.S. Ag will not help bring food prices down. It will increase ag. The innovation in our farms will increase productivity into expansion, reduce global insecurity, lower emissions tech. And protect as the U.S. is left doing this stuck in the past. The decline in ag, R&D, and innovation is about less productivity. Biotech and gene projects, the developments have yet to be adopted. Evenly increasing growth while reducing emissions will require R&D and innovation. Modernizing, supporting commercialization of pharma. International cooperation over pandemic preparedness is decreasing. Searching 24 questions about cooperation, pandemic preparedness, domestic battles, emerging Republicans demand withdraw support for the agreement on info on social media about increased resistance to the 2.5 years of divisions that produce agreement and larger down long-standing disputes out countries over protection and resource sharing saw little compromise, no link in turn, offshoring investment, Morris 22. But Christians rely on narrative rather than empirical therapeutics and require 1 billion available without patterns. Innovation might seem like they never see the light of day. Innovations raise resources and cycle protection have become important and attractive in funding and commercialization study showing no limitation decreased investment. Many innovators will ship their work abroad, EU, Australia, and Japan. PIRA doesn't remove unmodified genes, it solely allows isolated genes, which is a different process, the no link, and democracy facilitates international cooperation to respond to existential pandemics at Spellfield. Only our offense cooperation is key to actualizing medicine, tech policy interventions, public health. Towards 23, level of risk pandemic size. Yeah, here we linked on it. So, or, market chains, econ defense. No correlation between economic line war. World 20. I do not think extraordinary economic conditions have much impact on war. The U.S. has suffered 40 recessions, have fought 20 wars. Unrelated to the economy, if recessions cause a war, the world would have received 9 out of the last 5. Market 5.
Very awesome.
Okay. Let's start on the front of this side. The first card you've read, actually the card about you solving the impact says that innovation is key in act smart, like whatever. How does the app do that?
Yeah, so it says increasing growth while reducing in emissions will require R&D and innovation. This card clearly says and talks about how innovation and R&D are critical to solving the impacts of the DA.
Yeah, I'm asking how does the app do that? Like,
Via
the card says innovation in ag, like,
by instituting a successful patent regime.
Okay, so the internal link to that is just like more patents.
Or patents cause innovation. That's the direct internal link.
Oh, okay, sure.
And R&D.
Okay. Let's go to courts. Or no, sorry. Let's skip on this side. The first card, the Axiom 612 card. The differences between the bills, which bills, and what are the differences?
The two drafts. So right now there's a House and there's a Senate draft. So there's a House and a Senate draft, and there are differences in these bills that make it so either side will not agree. The difference is climate smart agriculture techniques or technology, which is what the main contention is.
What does that mean they won't agree?
Because that's what they're disagreeing
over,
right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to courts. The Brigenhoff evidence about certainty. What about the counterplan is uncertain? It certainly like rules on the ground.
I mean, like it certainly does rule. That's fiat, but like the way it signals that to investors is uncertain. So the Brigenhoff evidence explains that courts have had a empirical history of being confusing and lacking certainty to investors.
Like I want to see evidence agrees with that. We think that like reversing that.
So you read the uncertainty deficit in the 1 and C?
No, we think that the counterplan would solve that. I'm confused.
Like how?
Okay, that's fine. Any reasons you're dictating besides condo and
Paragraph fiat.
Paragraph fiat. Okay, sure. Let's go. On case, you skip a card, but you wrote the tag. Which card was that? You skipped the news card, right?
That was in the 1 and C.
It was in the 1 and C.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Let's see. The winner's win card, the Kane21 evidence says that the reason that PC regenerates is because like it codes us a lot of positive things. What about the app is a positive thing?
It passes a plan, that's a positive thing.
How do people perceive that as a positive thing in like Congress?
It's not talking about perception. The Kane evidence is talking about when presidents do positive things, i.e. doing their job, passing policy, they gain more clout because people see them as effective policymakers and have more trust and they gain
Okay, sure. You got anything else? No.
Yeah. Is there a perm text on the abolish counterplan, or is it fully intrinsic?
It would just have the plan, the counterplan text, and
So
in all other instances.
there is no perm text, right?
I'll send
It's
it.
fully intrinsic. Okay,
I'll
take
send it.
Brett.
Or it's cross-X right now.
What's this?
Cross-X is over, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Your prep is starting now.
It's a
I think 6 minutes.
they're pro.
6 left. Yeah. 8. Starting now. Yeah. Courts, T subsets, advantage 2. Good?
Yep.
From Irish.
The capital it solves the quarter crisis ambiguous precedent by ending exception, declaring all former precedent for Alice Mayo moot, enshrining patent certainty. That's Edwards frames one sufficiently. The solvency might be imperfect, but that certainly outweighs the deficit. 2. Judge King for the way to permanently links and that benefit. 2 is he wants to do both. Obviously, links legislation guarantees fights, derailing the formula of the appeals. Deficit is a joke. The counterplan is SCOTUS can't be appealed. Fiat solves any litigation delay or links back to the F is a reversal of all currently dubious court precedent. Every F warrant for investor certainty comes from Alice Mayo's abstract idea of vagueness, which the counterplan solves. Regardless, there's no impact because plan 2 cements the clear signal to businesses in the future. No more exemption. That's Edwards. The court's the only barrier now. We've inserted when it's referred over in sort of reference turns case. The courts will throw out patents despite Congress's intention in legislative rulemaking, absent Supreme Court precedent. Yonku 24. The Gexis game notices leads to distorted outcomes and asserting in the how to judge the method of asserting resistance when there's society. I'm not acknowledging the court's knowledge. Legislative subject matter felt bound by the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court showed its correlation about social voice heroes, disease, or not loss of nation. One decision preclude any other types of methods. Legislation's worse. Michael and Mitchell Dow 21. Ideally, be done without legislation. Any change to legislation would create further problems in court. Would create jurisprudential. The bomb bearer cards crossed by certainty from above. It's about squirrel creating more exemptions. So clearly, it's possible for courts to give more rulings that are clear. They think Roe, Brown, Loving as examples, but they haven't just done that on patent eligibility. No impact. Their cog, or actually skip that card. The permanent the counterplan it severs 1 resolved Miriam 7 to declare it over by a vote. It requires a legislative instrument. Let's say 5 legislative instrument 4 setting policy and resolution use result 2 protection of IPR statutory courts are enforcement not protection increasing now below 21 the 2 distinct elements of protection and enforcement from protection refers to the statutory country legislative frameworks IPR protection on white side of IPRS as well. IPR laws and evidence by legislative books interpretation judiciary other public enforcement no evidence in IPR and includes all punitive sanctions utilize judiciary custom officials. It's best for fairness. A ground there only are banks in courts counterplan is key next generic otherwise we're screwed against us and literally uphold this quote. It's better for F ground 2 only fitting one branch means as always loose to roll back to B. It's limits if it's not a counterplan it's an F there and explodes the topic to minor judicial tweaks air neg it's early season and try or die to limit the presently infinite scope of F. Debatability outweighs particularly the sliding scale determined by community norms but the neg being screwed is absolute. 3 position the plan actively decided not to include judicial overruling and eligibility requirements and specified in cross positional competitions good anything else allows contravening the 1EC to render counterplans non-competitive shift the mandate of the plan post hoc and elite topicality violations. 4 textually the counterplan exclusive words federal government so it competes T subsets. Or actually, they still agent counterplans are bad. That's wrong. Arbitrary. The theory is bad. The numbers theory deletes. The infinitely aggressive deletes of a possibility for negative engagement. The two ways can just shift out of all offense by saying they're bad at answering them. Give near and give a warrant. And links to that benefit is wrong. Court shield politics. Biden doesn't have to push the plan in the courts. The courts just rule. Condo will be in the one in RT subsets. So topical apps must shrink the protection of the entire area of copyright. Patents or trademarks. That's words and phrases. No new answer. The QAC was embarrassingly light and didn't say pics, which is the only reason I'm extending this. So don't give any new 1AR warrants. The impact is limits. Permitting any subset to 3 huge topic areas sparks a nuclear war of new apps, eligibility, antitrust, baseball patents, 5G patents, AI patents or copyright, e-commerce, natives, waivers, etc. It's tried apps can just uphold the existing law and be topical. Mandel 18 whether a decision strengthened IPR was determined based on the net effect of IP and issue at hand. The eligibility decision was coded strengthened it because it upheld the term extension against the challenge though law effectively makes the status quo court system in favor of greater protection. That outweighs a predictable topic is useless if it's unlimited because time and free round prep is limited. Predictability is sliding scale across life from above. The we meet is hilarious with a plan only expands protection for patents currently ineligible, not patents across the board. The plan takes violates. It includes specification of removing exemption to subject matter eligibility within the counter interpretation in is means within is unique is a limits disaster. Anything else could be within patents cross by from the overview. It also ends ground tiny ass with tweaks to the IPR system of links to politics and innovation, which are the only sliver of net ground that we get on this topic. The KC evidence is about positional relationship that's different from an ideological one. KC 9 that claims only recited positional relationship as well as the gas reservoir and conduit were more predictable words and phrases. It's gold standard words and phrases for the compilation represents this first systematic approach. The answer president will be the best one of the judicial interpretation, construction, report, decision. All the words were digitally defined until it's got a definition of every word. Protection requires the changing of all rights holders. Proper Rodriguez 19 protection of IPR requires law to be the best ability by IP rights holders. Limits turn to small topics more predictable. I did that. More above, no over limiting. One other innovation solves teams can generate infinite mechanisms, actors, or advantage ground by instead of picking the next patent of the week. Everyone thinks that small talks will be stale, but never do in practice. Healthcare and arms sales prove 2 net ground outweighs that was above. Functional limits are wrong. Econ is 0. Case was the framework states isn't a thing and stop recycling blocks. The reasonability, their interpretation is unreasonable. That was above. T is substance semantic strains. Students for grappling with the law often sequence prevents a race at the bottom. Advantage 2. Or straight turning both advantages we win in uniqueness or link in Zera's case because the internal link to both is innovation as per 1EC cross text. The 2EC had offense but no defense. Even if patents bad, even if the lack of patents is bad, it doesn't prove patents fix the problem that turns zero solvency and present no defense to our takeouts. Innovation is high now. Studies confirm Alice and the increase both in R&D spending, increased sales by software companies and venture capital investment. That's Jones. Non-unique both advantages because internal is both innovation. Current eligibility jurisprudence invented Jones 24. The current eligibility has inhibited the next development index. Gentech HCI, the AI are the forefront of the AI quantum, has no negative effects on jurisprudence, in fact, is strong, the positive study confirmed, a positive association between Alice and R&D for innovation. They say, that Jones is biased, zero evidence, just Cavnier's assertion, he represents small businesses, so he's probably better anyway. Also, it cites studies and about current numbers about R&D, which isn't just his opinion. Stock rebound, capital influx, Fed optimism, M&As, and IPOs prove rapid innovation. 24, the recent climate secret revitalization of funding markets have opened up and improved stock performance and broadening volatility. The stock market have begun to stabilize. Anticipation of rate cuts. Investors proved optimistic and noticeable higher than M&As might have proven liquidity and growth, improving the listings. The link turn outweighs 1, evergreening patent holders artificially expand patent life to block new products. 2, delay companies pay smaller startups and to wait to enter, which makes research slow and hurts effective pandemic response. 3, patent thickets. The most patents are broad to block entry to monopolize a product. That hurts patent innovation, which causes extinction as per their the Belfield evidence. 3, or 4 is empirics. The most influential innovations happened before patents, and new studies have found fewer than half of innovations were patented because they were protected by first mover advantages. Think like Wikipedia as an example. It was not patented. 5, duplication. Companies race to the same product to obtain a patent, which slows innovation. 6, product copying, bro. 24, the product copying refers to the company reformulating precision, changing the dosage markets, creating a new product, take the old product off of monopolies, patent owner stifling innovation. 7, licensing fees. Companies rent seek by using patents to threaten legal action. Instead of innovating, they are to cost 12% of all R&D spending for startups. That's the lean and Baldwin. 12, the existence of monopolies should have reduced the incentives to invest and investors subject to legal action. Licensing is downstream effect on increase the product. So many difficult companies, the DGE, the cooperative intervention, will hold a problem imposed on externality charges higher. Licensing giving Baldwin, Levine, and Lance and Trento. There are many case studies that causes offshoring, which turns competition. Day 19, they defend the lawsuit to terrorist innovation is high. This is actively significant negative firms R&D countries to high cost of innovation, bad faith litigants, extreme near cost therefore in passive and patent litigation extract settlements between competition and inventors place R&D in countries with less patent enforcement. 8, litigation forcing people to wait hurts in innovation. Mirror 21, the U.S. has lost for patents over 4 times in 1980. Patents are so cheap that it's slow to take 4 years to backlog, makes suing impossible. Brennan now 14, never work takes role in judges interviews, taking to the burnout awareness and tiredness and encourage judges to retire their observation of risk and about long-term health and the vitality of our courts. The patents are worse. Patents are a worse metric for innovation. There are the other bad patents that poison the well, like bird tempers and beer cats. There are actually not every innovation is good innovation. The evergreening debunker, the Letzian evidence has empirically denied things like phones and insulin prove that you can slightly tweak products and expand their lifespan infinitely. That also answers the cloud substitute evidence that empirics has proved. The empirics go our way, but now the answer they say that small businesses that goes neg. First, the state gets they make patents inaccessible to startups by raising the barrier to entry with the threat of stage 2 industry cycles. Portrait 12, examine the life cycle of industries and begins with the burst of innovators to the market to get their barrier to patents to quickly reduce costs as industry amount to stabilize and reduce the scope of innovation, decrease the renting and important behaviors that inhibit entry to litigation market. Litigation costs the venture capitalism more across life from above investments dry up because of patents and prevents barrier to entry. The patent disclosure the answer trade secrets is a sham. Bolton 12, the theoretical POV of patents are substitute for state tracing fails simple models, same complex realistic complex models. Market models. I'm good.
Okay. T subsets. What's the top left?
An app that would like expand the lifetime of patents, like all patents. That would probably be an example of in this topic area. An app that would increase the protection.
Okay, so can you just give me a case list of apps that meet your interpretation?
I mean, the point
there
is that
any
we limit
app in
apps
the
to like
TAMP
probably.
packet that meets your interpretation? In any TAMP packet, actually.
No.
No.
People are
So
running to the
it's
margins
just
already. 'cause this
increase the
topic's already-
lifetime of patents. That's
No,
it.
I mean there's also apps that would increase the protections of trademarks writ large and increase
So
the
what does
protections
that
of
look
copyright
like?
writ large. I mean anything that would like I guess expand the enforcement mechanism for all copyright infringement
So what does
violations.
that again? What does that look like?
An app that would expand the enforcement mechanism for any copyright violation or trademark violation or patent violation. The point is that it's across the entire area, so it's easier to generate disadd links.
Okay. So there's only one patent app on your
No,
interpretation.
there's probably
So
a few.
the topic just becomes IP enforcement.
It's
not
it's
protection.
certainly a smaller topic, which we've impact turned. Like the limit, this topic right now is a dumpster fire. There's so many infinite apps that can literally do nothing, and still like codify
Okay.
existing rules. Like that's ridiculous.
Case product hopping. Can you explain this phenomenon to me?
Yeah, it's essentially when like it's kind of like evergreening. So when a company produces like a new version of an existing product, like the card
Okay,
gives
so it's
example
just
of like insulin.
Yeah.
No, I mean evergreening is to expand the patent. This is more to like to lock out access of other companies.
So like companies find new products. Is that the argument here?
No, it's like the same product, but they keep making minute tweaks that expand.
Okay.
You know,
Against
coverage.
the Letzian evidence, you said that phones disprove evergreening. Can you explain? I bet. An iPhone 1 is very different than this iPhone 13.
Well, an iPhone 13 isn't not that different from an iPhone 14, and they get a new patent. And probably the better example that I give was like insulin. Like you get like an extended version or like a mini version. Like
Okay,
all these
insulin,
things get
there
new
are
patents
generics that are
and
offered.
refreshes.
Why doesn't that solve?
What?
Like, I'm a little bit confused. After 20 years, let's go into the public domain and our generics.
No, the point is that they
How is that?
can't go into the public domain if companies keep refreshing
so like
and getting like new
generics of
patents.
insulin just don't exist. Is that your
They
argument?
they will be bracketed out substantially. It's
Okay.
not just insulin; it's like other products, but
Court-
it's just
Court's counterclaim, the Yanku evidence. Where do you think this card comes close to being a deficit?
Well, you mean like the Turns case Yonke
Yeah.
card? It says this card's about how Congress, absent like a judicial stance on para, will be overruled
So why
by the
doesn't
Supreme Court.
why doesn't
because
durable
people,
fiat solve this?
because you can't fiat the courts.
Okay, so we can't fiat.
No, that's the permanent counterclaim.
Okay, where do you think this card says that PIRA will be overruled?
Yeah.
Yanku is an
The
advocate
Congress
for PIRA.
Congress intended subject matter to include anything under the sun. The majority felt bound by the Supreme Court's exception analysis of a completely different invention. They
I
defer
don't
to the
think
court.
that says what I asked.
They defer to the court.
One of the sense.
Like, go through that really fast.
Yeah, property,
Okay.
extinction, prices,
Yeah.
sui generis,
Yeah.
pharma,
Uh-huh.
courts,
Of course. Okay.
and then
Fine.
pharma. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Alright, cool. Everyone good?
Wait, just give me a sec.
Alright, good.
Good. Okay.
Prodigy theories we need to reject the argument on team extinction conceded perm kills because there's no office. The price can conceded perm has competition region is conceded perm. And the pharma can get conceded no office because the impact is internal to the case and the economic solves. Now courts. Condo is good. We get with the first flex. Carol comes like increase the protection of IPs. Nucleus require multiple testing outside by best office and 2AC first and last speech prevention very fast second logic. Combat is an unpredictable non-rest rule that device the cycle which will always remain illogical. Which will always remain illogical. Arbitrary rules are worse than no rules allowed to have to unilaterally resolve the problems. Every debate displaces itself with 3 innovation. Followed by charging courage to arbitrary research 4 info processing hard ones 4 space efficient investments in processing critical thing. Now defense 1 DMU adding more advocacy peak and value to their strategic life is second skews novelty. This has to be how informed case rejected to 1 detriment consensus. There is none. Second first firms, processing terms and work saying 3 cancel flags. The 2C dictates the 2C dictates block now on Connor's bad. And most of our offense makes it impossible to go in for any argument to an argument 1C introduce it in apathy. The dissent always in terms of the case, climate smart gas is key to prevent the combined stressors of climate change and food insecurity that causes resecurity, which escalates war. That's so link other tricks out or turns solvency break 13. Process of enacting producible to children as to be on record the process of climate always change the bills. They might have the benefit to no statutory change. Now the uniqueness of form bill passed now, but it's close. First office, the ad committee proved it with bipartisan support in our office that disputes over snapping climate smart ad committee resolved. That's agreed. Second is compromised mostly in 531. The Republican version would remove the requirement that programs benefit economy. The other emerge as contingent climate smart funding, and in one of the highest percent will reconcile their vision and craft their commerce. The Democrats have the upper hand. The Democrats control the White House. The GOP leadership has been relying on Democrat votes. Doesn't Republicans expect opposition. The GOP will need Democrat votes. The Democrats are unlikely to and support unless Republicans drop provision 3 momentum. Barnett 6 7. Senator Grassley has often momentum will pay out this summer. Some she's making an effort to move ahead for confident resolution. This agreement will rework out reform network by 24. The big into corners. Most of it was over how they pay for these things. People worked out more work happening. We got 49% power house coalition 5. Biden he's pushing it to plan forward. Biden summarizes his priorities includes support new farmers research, enhancing conservation, climate smart again, clean energy, improves the carbon insurance, parties create a stronger safety and better markets. UC helps people across America. Now Hackton is wrong. 1, no, you are striking off your foes. Second, it doesn't say it's impossible. Buying species solves an indifference. Second, third, our evidence cites concrete indicators that outweighs fluffy rhetoric. Now the plan drains species theory. The plan drains buying species. They've conceded that link is on property, so we only need to beat the theory. First is contentious. The U.S. has in public been questioned the mere perception of the subject matter. Their science is bipartisan. Part 21. Bipartisan science on doing anthroposophy. Some are advocating to weaken it for the second big tech. Michael Endow 21.
Move on to like PC real.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
They dropped the link.
PC's real consensus agrees. Virus 20. The number says show Congress president president should approve 100 million increase likelihood of 6 that Congress are over and capitulate people stocking foods that would have proposed to make it through public shall go proposed act on. It overwhelms ideology legal 11. Press record that's keeping part of our some point that passage of legislation theories argue that legislation will side with parties, but no empirical research answer the question of what our repetition made of is the success of the president, not parties that predicts the rules and implementation in Congress. Its perception rates. Politicians believe it's real and act accordingly. Shire and PC research reveals that they are certain to the players' perspective. Those in game view these as crucial for the president's effectiveness. Aside from declining PC. Now winners win first is wrong. Regeneration is too long term. It might help him, but much later after the winner for the Department passage, which that's no good. But they've also conceded a link, which means there's no way that a plan can be probable, which is their internal link as per the 1C K the 2C K and PC is fine. It's national one. There's a prompt approach, but PC needs to be fine. If I move less have he will disappoint healthcare ran aground in contribution. So his progress can be vulnerable to miss up. He's not very some majority. The problem is you throw spaghetti on the wall and hope something else here wants to be targeted. No momentum. He can only lose to Supreme 21. It is not that moment thinking will hurt him. Fighting to future election wins. So the idea that election win because it's something when is asking too much. The passion will be thrown to all kinds of legislation far from it. But when it's to win, it doesn't generate momentum. Supreme 21. Despite probably as not giving moments from passage will hurt it by individual wins. The idea that it win because when it's asking too much passage will be at worst we have other links that way, which was above. Now the way until elections was answered on uniqueness above. The norm means it's wrong. First reject. You should assume that Biden will push it. There are Kane evidence says that the president must pass the bill UCPC. And the fifth uniqueness card I read also says that Biden is pushing it. Second RF says quote White House officials are going to push him, which is obviously right now plan is out of talk. If he has media as fast as possible means anything else allows infinite to destroy all on that ground. But if they win, the plan never happens. So perception
They won't wait until after.
They won't wait
because we've read evidence.
Because we've read evidence. Ensuring IRF funding goes to clients are Agus heated plant. Ironic catastrophe includes measures to store carbon in the soil and lower emissions. They don't increase that, which is the key. Ensuring Congress must ensure that IRF funding is not reached real. Lucan so 520 retaining funding for go to farmers. Then once in enriched climate smart funding has to be for farmers. Then once in enriched, but it won't continue to. If not percent, almost 20 below set aside to million climate smart act. Climate smart act supports efforts. Efforts.
547. 537.
Yeah. Sorry, Box.
Okay, advantage to T courts the farm bill to SAT.
Send the doc levy.
Yes. Okay, anyone not good?
We already had that pandemic's caused extinction, so it's only a question of winning the innovation turn. They didn't extend uniqueness counterplan, which means there's no uniqueness for the patent's bad stuff, but innovation is going to be low inevitably. We'll prove that on the link debate, even if it's not now. Now, Austin 2ACB on the venture capital means that patents are good. The uncertainty of receiving patents discourages venture capital, which acts as a collateral for startups. That's Massif and Marinero. The 2AC is incoherent here. It takes out all their offense because VC alone can fuel the economy. That's the 1AC evidence, but plan is also key to small businesses that disrupt the innovate in other sectors. That's bubbler. The thickets argument will be disproven below. In the industry cycles, argument is wrong. Patents are better for small businesses. That was above, but uncertainty, ineligibility also drives innovation into trade secrets or prevents follow-on. Innovation that's Springboks and bubbler that takes out their uniqueness arguments. So the first argument is evergreen. It's debunked, leaked on. No 28 their patents are legal. It's empirically disproven. 15 years of evidence. Now the delay argument is illegal under the Sherman Act. This is just an assertion. The patent thickets argument, no empirical evidence has corroborated thickets in the past 15 years. They lower prices, increase competition, and bolster performance. That's Galedovich and Mossov. Numerous actually empirics go after most innovative projects have been in the 21st century, like the Magnificent 5, the duplication argument. No reason this hurts innovation or decreases the incentive to invest. The hopping stuff is the same as evergreening. The licenses argument. No empirical evidence has corroborated hold-up theory in the past 15 years. That's Galedovich. Performing analyzes the entire base. It can only occur once box load. Assuming Galedovich 17 theory. No, safe for you to be held up by many result from the release happening. No, hold up. The rest of the track only once more. Cost shut down. Another litigation argument. Wait, can you get the litigation argument?
Yeah.
The next argument is that answers the rest of their stuff. Now T. We meet the plan affects everything in the area of patents. All patents have to be eligible under Section 101. So we just changed the restrictions for what it means to be eligible, which affects every single patent application in the future. Otherwise, they over limit, which makes being AF impossible because no AF can possibly affect everything other than affecting those requirements, which is an independently reason to prefer AF ground. It's hard to be AF on this topic. They get an innovation turn, innovation bad, and a lot of other offense like politics, econ, etc. But their offense is but functional limits of their offense, patent bans, innovation turn, or innovation ban applies to every AF. Ancient counterclans like courts will concede it's competitive, and the politics does apply to lobbies and hate nearly every AF. Now prefer reasonability for substance open crowd. T is not substance. It is not arbitrary. You should disincentivize them from going for the easier argument. Courts.
Or go back to litigation.
Oh yeah. Go back to the litigation stuff. Judges don't actually decide on litigation. Arguments at Stern 3, you simply manage litigants to tell me. Judges are showing legal analysis. There are questions of motivation prior to execution case laws where judges, if the litigants are concerned with the things to do for not want to create new rights. Mark F. writes. Now go to the courts catapult and reject Younger to Strawman, Boston Yami, free for Youngers, now Harlan Sullivan, up and Crumble, the former director, Scarborough, the beneficiaries of converts. No bills, all firms are given to businesses and loses no one of the firms for participation for changes. The card doesn't say that it'll get struck down. The app changes the statute to prevent that from in the future. Michael Endowed is a power tag. Now con is bad and because returns are good. The neg goes for a position with the least offense, incentivizing research and doubt that outweighs fairness. For a game is worth nothing if we learn nothing, but dissuades us off, allows them to read their position, but forces them to be credible. You should read what we did as infinite condo. It's arbitrary. Now, no, net collectors wrong condo is not key with few. No states and tax deficits, affable perm, T and dissets are enough. They're logical, so it justifies abuse of international and private actor counterpart theories. Good to keep preventing object fiat. Otherwise, the neg is OP. Info processing, no impact in turn because we force neg decision making. Diminishing utilities is insufficient because there's little cross applicability between the CapKT tax pick or the state's counterpart and screw. Not inevitable counterplans at the biggest internal link. No, there is consensus. Dispo means you can kick out exegesis of perms, or these are present can force perms up in perm individual planks, enforcing the negative positions is good. They must be prepared to defend worlds if they're introduced as reciprocal. The politics aside. Won't pass partisan divides prevent any chance of compromise on any issue that's happened in the hash. And we provided the link of the article, which means you shouldn't rejected the first evidence that they says it needs to pass. A lot of them will pass. The Barnett evidence is wrong. It's from the ad committee chairman. Obviously, he's going to say it's passed. The next argument doesn't say the climate provincial will pass, and the sloop evidence doesn't say that it'll pass it either. Now, the part of bipartisan co-op for formula is the rapid algae. 13 Democrats will support the list of individual applicable law changes. Football will split the coalition. Those have been always the foundation of the formula to stand up, continue, which will happen again. Consider the risk of election by Republicans, Democrats, to the adversaries of such traditional activity. Sides are too far apart. No, Douglas, 517, House Ad Committee, releasing formula on drug competition for Congress. BCT wants to pass a House and Supreme far apart and anti-group opposing cuts. Now, winners win. Biden looks so good for passing something that that's so unpopular, everyone wants to follow him. That's the Kane. Kane evidence is not, it doesn't take too long. People perceive it immediately. Now, the Biden argument, momentum is a political lifeline for Biden. Lip attack, 21 a week, Biden should never focus on objective fact. Biden has to capture momentum involving himself in priorities about past Biden's pressing. Deficit push versus past political lifetime. Capital does regenerate. 120 still walking inspired Republican strategy and language with nothing but Biden takes the blame. Market blames some need evidence. This title of the article says Biden ditched bipartisan to path the COVID relief. It's contextual to an environment where Republicans refuse to agree, which is irrelevant because the plan gets all Republicans on board.
Let's re-highlight.
520.
Is there a legislation or what was the card on litigation card that you want to send?
You said that.
Okay.
Drop that the counterpoint solves the case that 1 year didn't send any deficit, so it's a very easy neg ballot. I only have to read a tiny risk of the formula to decide at 1% risk of the matter of fact, and you automatically vote neg, and that conduct was good. It reverses all current judicial precedent regarding Alice Manuel, enshrining certainty into law. We have read multiple 1AC cards that says it concludes courts for uncertain arguments about the prospect of only new interpretations, which the counterpoint is new. It reverses all past interpretation. The Yonku evidence is not a straw person. It might agree with the pair evidence is good, but it says we should do it through the courts. The doubt card is in power tag says that the legislation is better, but they didn't extend a deficit, so none of that matters. Condo is good. Vote neg to preserve flex at the beginning of the season, and the topic's already turning into a negative nightmare. Conceded Mandel from slop sets means the F teams can literally say nothing and reinforce the status quo and be topical, making condo a necessity if epic proportions dropped. There are inherent affid advantages like first class speech and infinite prep, so it is try or die for negative multiple options. Fairness outweighs the only thing about can resolve it out, and it turns research because there's no incentives to learn an unfair game. Their research effect is also bad. Pick for the 2 AR first is that it's inevitable. We'll always do. We'll always research depth or breadth. And regardless of what we have to, because we have to research counterfeits anyway, conditional or unconditional. 2 is that breadth is better, allows us debaters to explore more lit bases that are and learn more about the world. Which in terms of their education impact, the dispo is their interprets bad for versus that it forces trade. It forces trade turns the law destroys too easy decision making, especially on a topic like this when the neg is so screwed without some kind of unionist counterplan for the patent's bad. For the patent's bad argument, which answers their sort of functional limits argument, or any kind of counterplan to solve, because the politics links are pretty not great. So that we need counterplans and be able to pivot in the block in order to check that. Also, the diminishing marginal utility is a crush for a screw because the more and more counterplans you read, the more and more is cross-applicable. It's proven by how the 2AC cross-applied stuff like framework on the case. Even though there were conditional advocacies, there is really no offense to the 1 year went for. They just blew through blocks and didn't really do any comparison. So you have to go next. The formula set.
the dissent definitely outweighs. They drop the impact, so it means it's try or die to solve climate change. The Farm Bill solves it by doing cooperation and regenerative agriculture technology. That's the Smith evidence. It causes extinction and is more certain than the absent impacts. And there's no deficit. So any risk of this means it means we win. So they say we'll pass. It definitely will pass. There's bipartisan momentum now. We're to read the Milstein evidence, which is the most recent evidence of this debate, and cites the consensus of senators in the Ag Committee. All and leaders in the Ag Committee all say that they're Republicans are coalescing because the GDP is fractured now, and because they're fractured, they're willing to cave on Farm Bill, even the most liberal provisions of the Farm Bill, such as the climate provisions, because they can't afford to block any votes there, because they need Democrats to vote for them in other places, because there's no strong Republican coalition that answers the bipartisan evaporating argument, because there's not bipartisanship on either side. But Biden's PC is key to get that through. So for issue-specific uniqueness here, which I'll do more in the PC debate, they say the sides are too far apart. Again, we're reading more evidence here and more recent evidence that cites the consensus of the Ag Committee, like Stabenow, who Stabenow is the leader, and pushing the Farm Bill, so has an incentive to tell farmers what to expect. So the winners win argument is really bad when the 1AR drops a lot of 1AR cards. The consensus of literature is Ned Clinton. Clinton had to choose to make his choices on his political decision making, like pushing healthcare. Obama decided not to pursue climate legislation because he wanted to get Obamacare passed. The reason of that is political capital, or there are strange evidence says that stranger evidence says that the president has limited and trade-off mechanisms, and via like negotiations and political favors that they use to convince other parties. That means that the only thing that gets the parties to reach across the aisle is Biden's political capital. For our evidence, because it's issue specific to the Farm Bill, and we've read evidence in the 1AC that the 1AR and 2AC drop the PC is key, and that because Biden is a political lifeline for a lot of these Republicans who are struggling here. They also extend this Romney evidence. There's no winners win because Biden only has political losses. Republicans will always spin whatever Biden does as a loss. It doesn't. He always because they'll say he looks politically inept, even though he's kind of a boss. But they also the answer is the Wallman evidence, because it doesn't regenerate if PC is finite. This the Wallman evidence is highlighted to shreds, and the 1AR marked it before to warn it. So so before our evidence that cites the consensus of the literature and the most studies regarding political capital, and only we're citing the most empirics. But remember, I only have to win a 1% risk of this dissad that it goes our way, because we're winning a high risk that the counterplan solves the case. So there's not a straight turn. It's try or die, because if it won't pass, and, they didn't read enough. If they wanted to go for a straight turn, they should have read more cards that PC is not finite, because we're winning that, which means that can't regenerate.
Winners win. The plan makes Biden look like him by boosting his momentum and passing the Farm Bill. That's arcane evidence. This goes. There's not enough evidence comparison on Russell's side. Sure, he might have done tagline warrants and gaslighted you to think that his cards say more than they do, but his cards are highlighted to shreds, and they're all old. They conceded. The straight turn solves the impact of the Farm Bill, DA. And straight turns courts, because Biden will not push the plan. This means that I only have to win the straight turn because Biden pushes the plan, which the courts cannot do. So it acts as deficit to the court's counterplan, which solves the impact to the Farm Bill DA. Uniqueness frames some link turn. If we win that, there's no risk of passage. Then it's irrelevant of what the plan does, because there means there's only a risk that it can increase momentum of passage, because that means there's only a risk to increase momentum of passage, because Biden will use his favors no matter what. They need to debate. Bring it here. They've conceded the Hagstrom evidence and the Algae evidence. This is the most recent evidence in this debate. It's a week. And Post states there, and the Russell's evidence by a week. His is from 6.6, and ours is from 6.13, which means that even by the 200 metrics of comparing uniqueness, we win this debate. They've conceded the Hagstrom evidence, which is conclusive, which you will see that all of their evidence lacks. Disagreements overwhelm cooperation, because Republicans and Democrats disagree over climate-smart technology. The Algae evidence continues this and says that there's a standoffish environment where sides won't budge. The weeks have passed where negotiations have done nothing. The Douglas evidence says that the Democrats especially will not budge on these questions, because they need their climate-smart technology, and the GOP is not for it, because before elections they will not cave to Democrats, and they will continue to budge, because the election is really, really, really close. Their evidence is really bad, though. They say that most recent leaders in the committee say that GOP will cave. This is a bastardization of their evidence. Their evidence says that the evidence that the Farm Bill needs to pass, but not that it will actually pass. None of their evidence actually has the conclusivity that says it will pass. All of their evidence is aspirational. It says that the negotiations are happening now and bipartisanship is happening, but that doesn't mean that it's going to pass, or nor does that mean that they have enough votes. They say that Republicans will cave because they need to get votes elsewhere. Russell, I'm asking you you this: where do else do does the GOP need votes? The GOP is not putting controversial legislation on the docket right now because it's so close to election, which means that they will not cave because they don't need to. They say that they say leaders that they say this. They extended the Barnett evidence, which says that Stabenow says it will pass, but our leaders say so much. But Stabenow is biased. She's the ag chairman, and obviously she'll say that it will pass because she has to have good results from negotiations, and she can't just say that negotiations are failing because a leader or a boss never will say or never will admit that their project is failing. The PC proper debate. Winners win. Perception is immediate. That's dropped, which means that the plan going through creates a PC for Biden to get it through. The problem with their empirics at the top is that they've conceded the LibTech evidence, which says that Biden is unique and PC works for him and PC regenerates for him. It says that Biden has targeted a domestic agenda for momentum, which creates bipartisan movements and momentum for a new passage. This was in 2021 and is predictive of his further legislation after that. It says that, and we can see that empirically. We can see that the Infrastructure Act created momentum for political gains, i.e., after passing the Infrastructure Act, he was able to do bipartisan negotiations on the IRA, and he was able to get landmark bipartisan bills through Congress. All of this goes conceded, which means that you should highly err affirmative because we have issue-specific uniqueness on the PC debate and on the winners win debate. Well, Russell's evidence is all. Russell only has the Subramanian evidence, which is bad because it doesn't assume that Republicans get on board and vote for the plan, which is categorically different than the Subramanian evidence, which is talking about how Republicans oppose COVID legislation, which is categorically different than the plan because Republicans support it, and they see it as a positive thing. They say favors are relevant, and the plan creates favors because it creates momentum, and it makes Biden look like a credible guy. So people will have it as favors. They won't spin it as a loss. He'll gain momentum, proven by the IRA and infrastructure warrants, infrastructure acts. The Wollman evidence I'll do here. The block conceded structural units, or the Wollman is a direct answer to PC finite or key. Republicans left to foot drag, slowing down bills, which is also the reason a bill won't pass. Biden takes far worse blame absent the plan because he looks like he's getting literally nothing done. So there's only a chance the plan makes him look more capable. Tunar's only answer was that it was marked too early. Rich still got to the warrants about Republican foot dragging, and Biden taking the plan in the scope. But winning uniqueness means we don't need to win Waldman. Tunar conceded all of our evidence indicts on uniqueness, which means we're way ahead here. So the uniqueness debate frames the link in link term. And Russell didn't extend the link, so the plan isn't unpopular, so winners win most certainly works. Good debate.